We know that because of the pollution in our environment, the oxygen level in our air is dropping on a yearly basis. If we think about it, the main sources of oxygen in nature is trees. And because of deforestation, the trees are cut down at such a rate that the quality of the ozone in the air is actually falling year on year on year. So if we don't have sufficient oxygen in our air, our bodies currently can't function at optimum levels.
Oxygen is such an important part of our cell respiration that I do think that we actually need more oxygen than that we're getting in today.
Oxygen is the most critical element required to sustain health and well-being.
Oxygen is probably the most important part of life. The cell in the body, any cell, can't survive without oxygen. We can live without food for days, we can live without water for a shorter period, but we'll also survive. Without oxygen, it's going to be a few minutes and the cells will die and the damage will be irreversible. So oxygen is life.
Bacteria, especially viruses, they breed in an anaerobic environment. That means in an environment without oxygen. So when you bring in oxygen into an environment, it makes it difficult for virus to stay alive. And therefore cancer also is an anaerobic state of disease. And cancer breeds in absence of oxygen. So when there's oxygen in the system, life comes back, the body can recover, we can overcome disease, and your mind can think clearly.
In 1932, Professor Otto Warburg of Germany received a Nobel Prize because he proved a lack of oxygen at cellular level causes a cell to mutate into a cancer cell. Because what actually happens in the mitochondria where the energy is burned, if there's a lack of oxygen to burn the necessary glucose, what happens is some of that glucose ferments and it gives off carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous gas. And he proved that a buildup of too much carbon monoxide mutates a cell into cancer. That is the major cause for cancer to form. It doesn't matter what kind of cancer it is. Have you ever heard of heart cancer? I don't think so, because it doesn't exist. Why not? Because the heart has always got oxygen. So that's just to come and reiterate that cancer is caused by a lack of oxygen.
It's interesting that paramedics, when they need to save somebody after an accident or a rescue process, they first give oxygen. Now, oxygen is life. That's critical and it's very important, and it's very life-giving, because every cell in the body needs oxygen every day. That's why we have a blood circulation. That's why we have lungs to pick up the oxygen and to distribute it through the whole of the body.
Ozone is produced by oxygen. Plants and plankton in the sea, whatever trees, they produce oxygen, which is O2, 2 atoms per molecule. And then oxygen is one of 5 gases in the atmosphere. It ascends into the atmosphere and about 20 to 25 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The ultraviolet rays from the sun comes and it splits that oxygen molecule into 2 separate atoms, O1, O1. And then God made it so that one of those atoms gets stuck onto another oxygen molecule, which forms O3. And that is ozone, O3, 3 atoms per molecule. And the moment ozone is formed, it forms a layer around the Earth. And the purpose of ozone today is to protect the Earth, ourselves, from the harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun. It's up to 3,000 times a stronger oxidant than normal oxygen. God made it so that that single atom, when it gets in contact with viruses, bacteria, parasites, any germ or stuff that can be harmful to the body, it oxidizes that little element. So basically it cleans out our atmosphere for us to protect us. Apart from the ultraviolet rays that it absorbs, it protects us from all the harmful virus, bacteria and that stuff.
I'm Daryl War, Senior Technician, Maintenance Operations here at Ushaka Marine World. We've been using ozone in Ushaka Marine World since our inception in 2004, which is approximately 10 years now. The reason why we use ozone above other disinfectants is that ozone breaks down naturally back to oxygen and is a very powerful oxidizer as well as killing bacteria.
We are in the avocado nursery business. I would say we're one of the leaders, not in South Africa, in the world, if it comes to the propagation of avocados. We've got a problem in our nurseries with in our avocado industry. It's actually worldwide. It's a problem with a root rot fungus by the name of Phytophthora cinnamomum that causes root rot. Now, we cannot use any chemicals in our nursery to control avocado root rot. And as soon as you move into hot houses, it's a different environment and there's lots of pressures, disease pressures and also algae. I've read up a lot about this. What is the possibilities? And I came across ozone and the benefits of using ozone. When the humidifier switches on and humidifies the hot house, ozone is included in the water and the results speaks for itself. We have combated fungal growth in our nursery. We've combated algae growth 100%. You cannot go without ozone.
We as the Just Water group of companies, we're currently running 14 factories all over the country where we take city council water, we purify it by removing all the dirt particles and removing all the chemicals and then reintroducing and sterilizing the water with ozone. The reason for using ozone is a very effective method of sterilizing the water. It's very effective to kill any bacterial growth and it's a good antioxidant for the body.
Ozone can kill germs and it's something that's safe for us to consume as humans too.